Paluska.
Our housing situation here in Florida is complicated. A lot of people are moving here because we live in paradise. Supply can't keep up with demand, land is scarce and at a premium, and investors are buying up a lot of single-family homes, and now we're seeing a new emerging trend in the market. Apartments, single-family homes, condos, and sprawling suburban master-planned communities, they all come to mind when we think of housing. This seems like a super competitive market. Are you losing hair, getting more grays, dealing with these market forces?
The competitiveness is a good and bad thing.
William Holton gave us a tour of their new development in Pasco County called Avila Suncoast, built by Next Metro. It looks like any other luxury build, upgraded stainless steel appliances, high ceilings, private backyard, resort-style pool, and 24-hour maintenance. So if your AC or dishwasher breaks or you need a new roof, the company foots the bill.
It is intended at the onset and throughout its life to be a full rental product.
Holton is the vice president of development in Florida for Next Metro. He says the company launched their first hybrid build-to-rent model in Arizona. That was 10 years ago. Holton says today its popularity exploding.
This is our flagship entry into Florida and the first in Pasco County. We have several others in the pipeline within Pasco and Hillsborough and also Manatee. Is
it about the American dream? Building these types of homes where people can come in and know that they have a piece of that and not have to worry about all the stuff that comes along with buying?
I think our position is that fundamentally, I think Americans or consumers in general have changed the way they view the American dream to a large extent. That may mean staving off purchasing a home, that may be putting off marriage or extending your youth a little longer through the years before they jump into that full commitment of purchasing a home. So this fits a very necessary niche in the market.
This is the biggest change in residential real estate that we've seen in our lifetime.
Housing expert Brad Hunter zoomed with us from our sister station WPTV in West Palm Beach, a man with more than 3 decades studying various market forces. His focus now is on the build-for-rent model.
Nationwide, there were about 95,000 homes built in purpose-built rental communities last year. And this year, I think that number goes up to 120,000 that'll be built. So yes, those are net increases in the stock of rental housing. And then it'll go to 150,000 shortly after that. I read recently that we're in this renter's economy where we're just going to rent and continuously pay all of these bills forever. Do you see that happening? Are we seeing this shift and it's starting in housing first, where we're always just paying monthly for some item? There's going to be a gradual movement towards more renting. And by the way, it's not always because that's all they can afford. Many of these people are not sort of riffraff. They're people who make $100,000 a year. There's a lot of criticism about companies that are buying homes that already exist and turning them into rentals. The built-for-rent sector is doing something different. They're actually adding to the stock of supply, which is badly needed.
I don't know that we've ever seen this magnitude of increase in overall property value.
Hillsborough County property appraiser Bob Enriquez tells us more supply of any type of housing is a good thing, build to rent or otherwise, but watching values skyrocket worries him the most.
My fear is the most of the average person being squeezed out of what we know is to be a very special community.
Another question Enriquez is trying to answer: what impact do investors gobbling up homes have on the market? Many homes have homestead exemptions or a non-homestead 10% per year value cap, so it can't go up more than that per year. But once a home changes ownership or use, those benefits are removed and they are appraised at today's prices.
They're bidding past what the average home buyer could pay for it. If they're doing that, it may not necessarily immediately affect the market or the individual homeowners in that neighborhood because they're buying it arm's length transaction. We are seeing those, and at some point that there's enough of those sales out there, it does affect the market in terms of overall value. Well, I think even if it levels off here in Tampa Bay,
here's Brady's pass. It's Gronkowski.
We call it the Brady effect. It probably is still going to be much higher than it was even over the last decade or so.
Historically, we've had great affordability, and it's been kind of this great secret for a while. That secret is out.
Nancy Surak is a managing broker for the Land Advisors organization in Tampa. As far as investors buying single-family homes, she says they've always been here.
And when you look at the statistics in our region, a decent amount of single-family homes are in the rental pool in our region, and people don't even necessarily know it. So when you look at the Tampa Bay region, I think it's 72% of homes that are being rented.
Surak says the build-to-rent communities are filling a major supply void for single-family homes, and she's seeing more national, big-time home builders getting on board with this type of model. And data supports the trend. There are 870,000 more renter households today than there were at the beginning of the pandemic. Are we heading towards prices, inflation so high that we're having to now rent the American dream as opposed to buy?
I think the better question is, does this next generation want what my generation and people older than me have defined as the American dream? I think the American dream is being redefined by this younger group of people who maybe don't want what mom and dad strive so hard to achieve.
In Tampa, Michael Paluska, ABC Action News.